I started my journey in Europe in Hamburg for studying my master's degree. And then after study, I played a few years with Hamburg Symphonica. That was before I moved to Darmstadt, the city near Frankfurt, for playing in the opera there. And this was shortly before the first lockdown of COVID, actually, so I remember very well. And yeah, that was my journey before I arrived here in Luxembourg. I did quite a lot of auditions, and this one for Luxembourg was obviously my last audition since I'm here now. I think what made it especially special, it's not only because I won the audition, but also because that was during COVID time, and which means many concerts and auditions got canceled. And it was really tough for me because as a foreigner here in Europe, I need a visa to stay. Yeah, that's the reality. And so I had quite a lot to deal with, either to continue my career in Europe or how I will manage my life. And this audition was really during the end of my visa. I remember it was like maybe only 2 weeks left until the end of my visa in Europe. So I was, very stressed and a little bit hopeless, if I'm maybe honest. I remember before going on the stage for playing my last round, I had suddenly this memory from my childhood. It was when I was in elementary school. One day, my mom came to pick me up, and I had a violin lesson on that day. So I was like super excited and wanted to share that I had learned a new piece. I couldn't wait until we arrived home, so I just opened my violin in a car and started to play. Yeah, and somehow this popped up in my head, and this pure joy of playing music really meant something for me, especially on that moment, and that has supported me throughout this whole journey. So as musicians, we are always worried about if we will disturb neighbors when we practice, and we are always not sure how welcome we will be when we move into a new apartment. Therefore, it's especially lucky to have you as my neighbor who actually appreciates my practice. However, I still try to practice more in the Philharmonic. I feel freer to play out loud in the Philharmonic. And my practice involves, of course, the parts for orchestra concerts, but also I occasionally work on some other things outside of orchestra. So thanks again for your support and understanding, and thank you all other neighbors out there in the world for understanding and supporting us. It's actually very special because it's a personalized violin, which I ordered in Berlin in 2018, I believe, which took me almost 2 years until I have it in my hand. And it's a copy of the famous Italian violin, Guarneri de Gesù. And basically I chose everything by myself, the small materials on the instrument, and so that I can feel really attached to the sound I want and the sound I like. Yeah, and since I have it, I'm really satisfied and I'm very happy to play with it. I think it's wonderful, for sure. I enjoy a lot. And because constantly traveling, it could be tiring, but at the same time, I really enjoy traveling between different countries. And I feel really privileged to have such a job. You can have fun and work at the same time. So about our tours, it's quite differently. During my first 3 years here, we had quite a lot of tours, mostly to Spain, thanks to our chief conductor, Gustavo Jimeno. And it takes sometimes from a few days up to a week or even longer. It really depends. We were in Madrid, Barcelona, Granada, where else? Zaragoza, Tenerife. It was really everywhere. And sometimes it could be short as well, that it took maybe only 1 day. For example, we go to Chalon or Champagne every year to play a concert. And it's always a one-day trip, so we come back pretty late after the concert. Or we went to Vienna last year, also 2 years ago, for briefly a night. And I think the biggest tour we had was, quite recently, was 2 years ago to South Korea. It was an 8 days tour. So our tours usually involve rehearsals in Luxembourg. And then once we start the journey, we usually won't really rehearse anymore, but we will try out the acoustic in different concert halls, of course. And sometimes we have small free time, or even like more privileged, sometimes we might have a free day, a day off. And that's usually the time we try to recharge ourselves and maybe do some small sightseeings if we may. And I really love this part of my work, that we can really discover different countries and different cultures and different concert halls. For me, it's very special to work with such a large group, with people who are in different ages. And I would say the average is maybe between 45 to 50. I think the youngest colleague we have is maybe around 25, while the most experienced one is nearly retiring, like maybe from 60 to 65. For me, it's very special to have this opportunity to work with people from different stages of their life. So I started learning music, first with piano, and I also learned some ballet and painting at a quite young age. My parents encouraged me to explore my interest, to see what's my real interest in things, and I guess it turned out that music is my greatest passion. I entered a special music class in elementary school when I was 9 years old, where my piano teacher suggested me to choose violin as my second instrument. My school life there was quite dynamic. We had quite a lot of exams, competitions, and practice. It's hard to choose one of my favorite concerts, but I do have some memorable ones, such as playing with Maestro Turgan Sokiev, Maestro Kazuki Yamada. They are very different conductors, but both really touched my heart during the performance. However, one concert really stands out to me was the concert we played with Gustavo Jimeno in Korea, in Seoul. I clearly remember that the energy from the concert hall and the connection we created between the orchestra and the response from the audience, there was something really unforgettable. And one thing what made it even more special was when I was standing up after playing the concert. I remember seeing my parents sitting in the audience. They had flown from Taipei to Seoul to see us. And that was something make me really emotional, because that was such a strong reminder of how much support and love they have given me all the way, during all these years throughout my career. Yes, one aspect I found it especially special and important from the Philharmonic is the educational part. We offer a few family concerts each season, and it often combines storytelling and the music. Before the concert, we musicians, we usually visit some schools to conduct some workshops to help prepare children for the concert later they will come to see in the Philharmonic. So we will basically introduce them what an orchestra is, what kind of instruments we have in orchestra, and what kind of sound the instruments will produce, and help them also to have some image about the story together with the music, help them to recognize some melodies. And it's true that we also offer this opportunity for children to try out the instruments after the concert. So they can actually have the chance to touch the instruments and to have this intimate interaction with the instruments. Sometimes I even receive some requests from parents showing that the interest of trying the instruments out themselves, which I found it really sweet and meaningful. I think this is really, really important in our work, that we try to show the audience that classical music is not only something we play far distance on stage, and it's something that it's actually accessible, and they can really have fun with it and even get engaged with it. So music apparently plays a big role in my life, not only in my professional life, but also in my private life. I listen to really a lot of music. So besides my work, I also listen to jazz or, for example, music from South America that I really like. It's really bringing me some piece of calm and some creativities, which I really need after work. And I also listen to quite a lot of Taiwanese pop songs. It reminds me a lot of my student life in Taiwan, and reminds me of my friends and family out there. And yeah, it brings me sometimes a sense of nostalgia.